After tons of mistakes and tons of lessons learned, I'm surprised I even finished this thing, and despite it all, I'm so proud of how it turned out. Let's get down to business. This is the third and final video in this build, so feel free to go back and watch the others if you haven't. Anyway, I had to recarve the neck because the first time I didn't account for the thickness of the fretboard, and it's currently super chunky. Just like everything else in this build, I'm just gonna wing it for this neck transition. The guitar's horns being in the way and the tools that I had made this kind of an awkward job, but I made do with what I had, and I've since invested in some power carving tools. Pretty happy with how this is looking. This is, it's gonna be a very beautiful guitar. So many woodworkers swear by the blue tape and CA glue method over double-sided tape, but it's always seemed to screw me, and I've lost all faith in it at this point.
Yep. Fuck. God damn it. Quite the ugly fucker here. Template shifted this direction and then started carving it out of this and up into here. So now it's a little crooked and not straight at all. Plus I have to get this fully routed out. With yesterday's pickup cavity fiasco, I taken a break. Just a bad day overall yesterday. Went into the studio and my brand new $3,000 studio computer is not turning on, so I don't know what to do about that. Sent it in for repairs. We'll see how much that's gonna cost me. On the guitar side of things, my plan is to go in with chisels and just make it look okay. It'll just be a big cavity. Oh well, it'll still be fine.
I was originally planning to body mount these pickups, but with the template shifting on me, I just used pickup rings instead.
With that done, get a little cleanup. I think from now on, I'm just gonna focus on this guitar because I'm getting a little overwhelmed trying to think about 3 guitars at once. So I'm going to just focus on this guitar and then move to guitar number 2 and then take what I learned from 1 and 2 and apply it to guitar number 3. So clean up and we'll start on pickup or electronics cavity.
While I clean up a bit, you should hit that sub button because every 1,000 subs I give away a guitar, and all you have to do is be sub to enter. All right, back to the build. So many of these processes are new to me, including template making. So I messed around for quite a while on paper, I tried out a few different methods, and it ended up turning out decent.
When it gets up under your eye protection, it's when it's the worst. Okay, we are down to the spalt. So, we've gotten down to the spalted maple top.
Later on, I'll have to route out another small area for the backplate. As you saw in the opening, I went with brass rings for the inlay. Having never worked with brass before, it was pretty stop and go, and the teeth of the hacksaw kept binding up in the brass tube, and I didn't want these tiny brass rings to get sucked down into my bandsaw, so if you know a better way of doing this, please let me know down in the comments.
This is quite annoying.
Because the cuts were so rough on the hacksaw, I had to use a pair of pliers and a sander to clean up all the burrs, and then I painstakingly mapped out the exact placement of all of the inlays. One of the most unforgiving parts of building a neck through guitar is having to work on the neck while it's attached to the body. Next time I plan on getting the fretboard about 90% of the way there before I attach it to the neck. Alright, how about I shut up for a sec and get these inlays done.
Boom, brass inlays, but I just need to fill the center with some orange epoxy. I just got a ton of little mica powder pigments, so I think I'm going to use this bright orange or this copper. Maybe a little mixture of both, because I don't want it to be that bright. Black, shimmery onyx. So many choices.
I'm editing this months later, and I've done a lot more epoxy work since then, and I still haven't found a good way to do this. I think I'm going to switch to a UV resin and use little small syringes, but as you can see, this wasn't really very efficient or clean.
Epoxy has had time to set. I'm gonna take sander to the top of it and try to get all the brass and the epoxy flush. And yeah.
While I was sanding this down, I noticed there's some pitting and some of the epoxy dried concave, so while I think about what to do for that, how about a body carving montage?
That's pretty good. It's a little conservative.
Since this top is so unstable, I decided to, well, stabilize it with a few coats of epoxy, sanding in between. And though I'm happy about it in the footage here, leveling and sanding and finishing this epoxy ended up being the most annoying and time-consuming part of this build.
Really happy about this.
I'm going to take a break from one tedious thing by doing another tedious thing. Time for fretwork.
I don't have a fret press, but I do have a drill press and a fret clamping caul, so this is what I've used in the past, and that's what I'm going to use today.
This is one of those moments where having the fretboard not attached to the neck would have been way better. And since we're entering a tedious loop of fretwork and leveling epoxy, let's do this montage thing again. How's that sound? Time for the scary process of drilling a bunch of holes in something you've spent hours and hours on, and of course, I screw it up royally. So, my plan is to take the router and make an oval-sized little cavity in here, and then make a matching plug out of Paduke. We'll glue that in, flush trim it, and, well, it's not the worst patch that I've ever done. I'm nearing the finish line now, so I shield the cavities, buff and polish, install all the hardware and electronics, and after all the mistakes, the satisfying pull of these little plastic things is just so good. And I'm so proud to show you this beautiful thing that I've made. I love how this thing sounds. With dual humbuckers from Guitar Fetish and a coil tap for those single coil tones, this guitar is extremely capable. What's going on, guys? Rachel from the future here. I've already given this guitar away to a lucky kid in Florida, but if you want to win guitars, all you have to do is be subscribed. I'll be giving away a guitar at every 1,000 subscribers. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one where I build this guitar. Peace.